I'm Dave Sobel from the Business of Tech podcast, here to update you on a story you might have missed. On February 21st, 2020, CompTIA announced they've permanently stepped back from all lobbying activity related to right to repair legislation. So how did we get here? Let's recap. If you're not familiar with the issue, Louis Rossmann summarizes what the right to repair is. Louis is a frequent advocate for right to repair. Here's his testimony.
So 50 to 70 years ago, if you opened up the electronics in your house or an appliance, there'd be a schematic on it that says how it's put together. And if you needed parts, you could either contact the company that manufactured it, and even if they didn't make the product anymore, they would usually tell you where to get the parts. Fast forward to today. A few years ago, if I wanted to buy a charging chip, so let's say a MacBook laptop, I could buy that for $5 or $10, and then I can fix it. Now, in 2018, Apple released a different machine, and it uses almost the same charging chip. They changed one thing, the address that it speaks to the rest of the computer on. And I can't buy that chip. What they told Intersil, the company that makes it, only sell this chip to us. So when I contact any electronics reseller, they say, I'm sorry, we can't sell it to you. This means that rather than paying me to fix the machine or anybody else, your only option is to go to Apple and have this $3,000 or $4,000 device fixed by them for $1,500. Further, when they do that, they erase all of your data, and that's the only option. So,
during a hearing in Washington State around Bill SB 5799, Anna Powell, Director of State Government Affairs for CompTIA, gave testimony against the bill, quote, on behalf of our 2,000 members. Here's that testimony clip.
Good morning, Chair Carlisle and members of the committee. My name is Anna Powell, and I am the Director of State Government Affairs for CompTIA, the Computing Technology Industry Association. On behalf of the more than 2,000 members we represent, I'm here today to respectfully oppose Senate Bill 5799. CompTIA supports the ability of consumers to freely and safely repair their IT devices. However, we do not believe that SB 5799 is sound public policy. This legislation poses serious risks to the safety and security of the growing network of connected electronic products. Allowing unfettered access to anyone to parts, tools, technical manuals, and software to a broad range of electronic products represents real exposure to the safe and genuine repair of consumers' everyday products. It presents troubling unintended consequences, including serious cybersecurity, privacy, and safety risks, mass copyright infringement, and hurdles to innovation. We have heard concerns from the environmental community. Our members value the environment and are proud of the steps they take to keep obsolete and broken devices out of the landfills. They design their products with the expectation that they will receive them back at the end of their life so that they can be recycled or properly disposed of. This leads to a new and innovative uses of technology that allow devices to generate the least amount of e-waste possible. Our members are required to participate in the Washington State Passed e-Cycle program, and many have created their own robust e-waste programs, allowing citizens to recycle old electronic devices for free. If SB 5799 were to take effect, there is no guarantee that these same devices and parts would be recycled. Finally, no state has enacted legislation like SB 5799. Washington should resist unwarranted intervention in the marketplace with one-size-fits-all mandates that compromise consumer safety and protection and make the proper recycling and disposal of electronic devices less certain. Thank you.
All right. Keith Schoolcraft, Chief Executive Guru at A Couple of Gurus, an IT business in Minneapolis, posted an article on LinkedIn on January 25th. Criticizing the lobbying, and he made me aware of both the testimony and the article. I covered the story on the Business of Tech podcast on February 7th, and Ryan Morris, Carl Palachuk, and I discussed it for a segment on our Killing It podcast that released on February 18th. CompTIA issued their press release on February 21st, and Nancy Hammervick, EVP of Industry Relations, said the following on Keith's post and in response to our podcast. Quote, "We feel the most productive role we can play is acting as an impartial facilitator to bring the interested parties together to find a compromise solution." End quote. That's exactly the role CompTIA should play here, not a lobbyist for those with big checkbooks only. Kudos to you, Keith, for raising this and speaking up. I encourage listeners to continue to both speak their minds and bring items to my attention. This is exactly the kind of commentary that the podcast and MSP Radio were created to do, amplifying the voices of solution providers. If you support this kind of content, please like and share, subscribe to the podcast, The Business of Tech, and support my efforts via Patreon. Everything you need to know is at mspradio.com, and all of the links are below the video. Thanks for listening.